right before lunch, I had algebra class like right after lunch, and I had creative writing right before lunch. So, and I think a lot of the reason I would sit in that class so much and write is because, you know, you kind of get those exercises going, get your brain going in creative writing, and I really enjoyed that. And then you kind of have a break for lunch, and you go talk to your friends, and it seems like it would always kind of like spur some little idea or something. I'd sit in there and write, and that day, that was just the song that came out. I wrote the lyrics to that song in probably 10 minutes. Took it to band practice that day, and we put the music to it in another 15, 20 minutes, and it never changed. It stayed just like that, and it's just like it is now. It was kind of interesting. We re-recorded the song a few months later, and that's the song that WCPR started playing, and that's the recording of it they started playing.
Well, people, it is Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday, February 8th of 2026, a day that will live in infamy. That was Brad Arnold, 3 Doors Down. We grew up with this, didn't we? As soon as I heard about it today, I'm like, okay, that name sounds familiar. I'm like, wait a minute, Kryptonite, Superman. You did a few videos on that, what, late last year? On Superman. I'm like, yeah. And a friend of mine had sent me a text and asked me a question about it. I'm like, okay, I'll get to it later. I'm tired. Because I was producing the video and I need to get some rest because I was up late last night with you guys, which is beautiful. And then I had the devil, Satan, come after me last night. Endless phone calls. I could have turned the phone off, but I've been meaning to ask you guys, are your phones messed up? My phone's been messed up for 2 months. And emails, go to people's phone numbers I don't have. I say that to say this. Kryptonite, Superman, 3 Doors Down. I wish those days would come back. Well, this man died today. Brad Arnold, he died today. I want to pay tribute to him. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about him. I can't get that jingle out of my head. I want to do the human side. Mass internet, one story after another. The story I want you guys to understand is that I found a video from 8 months ago where he was interviewed by a minister. And I want you to hear it, because that's what time it is. When it's all said and done, and your soul search, and no matter how big you get, that is in station, in whatever occupation you have, your soul speaks. And it's not about how much money you make or how many people you know. You can't run from yourself. The brother figured it out. He went and got some help. He come from a good family, a praying mom. He said his mom was praying for him. Went back to the Lord. I said he went back to the Lord. And that's a beautiful thing.
My brothers and sisters had prayed for me to quit because they seen the road I was going down, and so there was a lot of prayers being said for me, and I'm thankful for every one of them. I was in Japan one day, and we were playing the show for the troops. I could feel myself slipping away, that it wasn't me anymore. And I could also feel that this wasn't going to last a lot longer. And then I tried to call a friend and look for somebody, I guess, just to okay it or whatever, to validate my feelings. And I couldn't get anyone on the phone. And I FaceTimed Mr. Charlie. And he and his wife were sitting there on the couch, and it was late at night there, and it was about mid-morning, maybe here, a big time difference. And I was sitting there just sobbing and just telling him how unhappy I was in my life. He was a great counsel to me before this time. He always had great advice to tell me. He said, son, he said, he said, if you love your wife and you love God like you say you do, you need to come home and you need to go to rehab. That was the man that came in there to kind of hear your kind of talk and hear you pour your heart out. And he asked me, he said, Brad, he said, do you love God? I said, yes, sir, I love God. He said, why are you serving yourself? He said, you're not serving God with this. He said, you're serving yourself. It hit me hard. And he said, do you love your wife? I said, yes, sir, of course I love my wife. He said, well, then why are you trying to kill her husband? And it hit me.
Started out as 15, hit the road at 20, tour bus, never looked back. Came to a point, realized he was an alcoholic. Had to get himself together. I'll put this video in the description. Steadfast Disciple. I'm glad I ran into this. Gives you a piece to watch this. This guy, he just has a good nature about him. All the videos that I saw, he just had a good nature. And I pray that, pray you meet the Lord. Now, I'm gonna be blunt about it. The powers took him out. Numbers don't lie. Let's begin. This is birthday, 9/27/1978. You take his literal birthday, subtract it from the day that he died. Which is yesterday. The difference is 47 years, 414. We know Trump coincidentally is 47. But what is the 414? Abraham Lincoln died on 414. And I know you guys are probably saying, my God. I said, yeah. The last 2 months, how many videos have I shown? JFK and Kennedy. Because it's close. And this one is right before the Super Bowl. I believe he was sacrificed. My condolences to family and friends. I made a choice back in the day. Leave this damn music industry alone. God blesses us with talents. He blesses us with talents to get back to the world. And these devils, they got a time watch attached to you. You don't even know it. Many times you don't know it. Of course, Trump is the 47th president. And this gentleman was 47 years old. Brad Arnold, the lead vocalist and drummer for Three Doors Down, wrote the hit song, Kryptonite. He wrote it when he was 15 years old, right? after a math class. You guys heard the story, right? Song came out January 18th, 2000. I took that date, brought it up to a current date, last year's anniversary of Kryptonite, the day he died. The difference is 55 weeks. Julius Caesar died at 55 years old. Trump, in my humble opinion, acts like Julius Caesar. You know, the sick thing about all this is that these are fallen angels out here making this stuff happen. And they have a timetable, they have an agenda, and they want to sell an image in relation to their future past. They can go in and out of portals. They have a time machine. And so 55 years old, you automatically think about Julius Caesar. At least I do. Then you got the 47. Well, it's the number of the leader that we have now, Trump. So the dark powers, they sacrifice in relation to the numbers. Trump being the future. And then I showed you 414. Well, that's Abraham Lincoln, the past. And they fused the two. And they take people out in relation to the numbers. They make it fit. There are several famous songs titled When I'm Gone. 3 Doors Down on 9/23/2002 came out with a song, When I'm Gone. When I'm Gone. Anniversary of that song, today he died. The difference is 4:15. At 7:22 a.m., Abraham Lincoln died on 4:15. And he died on a Saturday. And Arnold died on the Saturday. Three Doors Down, first album is called The Better Life. The Better Life. The Better Life is 3 Doors Down, first album. Look at this here. Is that familiar? Looks like the Sun God Ra, doesn't it? It's called The Better Life. This album's called The Better Life. The Better Life came out, wait for it, February 8th, 2000. Today is February 8th, 2000. Today is Super Bowl Sunday. You couldn't get a better match than that. 3 Doors Down, their first album came out on Super Bowl Sunday. Well, today is a Super Bowl Sunday anniversary. Here it is, today. We just might face hell on earth today. We just might. February 8th, 2000 versus today is 312 months. The album, A Better Life, versus today, 312 in months. Trump beat Kamala Harris by 312 votes. Historically, in Rome, Constantine, God gave him a vision of a cross. In 312, he got rid of the pagan gods and the sun god, like Sol Invictus, and brought in Christianity. That was 312. There's always been a fight back and forth, a tug of war. To get it back under the sun god and the pagans, they do blood sacrifices and rituals. And that's where we're going. Back to the sun god Ra. We won't be here long. Jesus is coming. The glory's in the story. Bradley Kirk Arnold is his full name. Bradley Kirk, like Charlie Kirk. Come out to 81 twice, and also 108. The 108th day of the year, or the 108th, we just celebrated the 108th birthday of JFK last year on 5/29. Let's break it down. I showed you it was 81, right? 81. The 81st day of the year is 322, skull and bones. Is that coincidence? Now look at this. This is the day that Brad died. This is May 29, 2026, the anniversary of JFK's birthday. The difference is 322, skull and bones. Superman. Superman first released on April 18th, 1938. April 18th, 1938. Superman first comic. April 18th, 1938, Superman. August 4th, 1961, that's Barack Obama's birthday. The difference is 23 years and 108. 108, JFK. April 18th, what is April 18th? April 18th is the day that the Superman magazine was the first comic was put out April 18th for Superman. April 18th, it's the 108th day of the year. JFK would just celebrate his 108th birthday. I'll go live sometime today. This man's birthday, I want to say this the right way. This is the numbers are just, they're compelling. And I could tell right away it was a sacrifice. When I'm gone, it's like a story. And the way these numbers fall in line, this day could be hell on earth for us people in America and around the world. This man's birthday subtracted from today is exactly 47 years, and 414 is Abraham Lincoln. And then it goes straight into JFK. And then, like I said, the first album was created on February 8th. And today is February 8th. I've done a lot of decodes on artists over my life. I might do the Little John thing, the rapper, his son. I said in my live yesterday that the last 2 months have been off the chain. between the Super Bowl and the Grammys, allegedly it's all tied together. Sacrifice season. All the way up to the day before. And we could see one tomorrow. Again, my condolences to friends and family. This man was in this music thing since he was 15 years old. That's the better part of his life. Let's play this part again, his testimony, because that's the part I want to leave with you. He made a good decision.
To validate my feelings, and I couldn't get anyone on the phone, and I FaceTimed Mr. Charlie, and he and his wife were sitting there on the couch, and it was late at night there, and it was about mid-morning, maybe here, a big time difference, and I was sitting there just sobbing and just telling him how unhappy I was in my life. He was a great counsel to me before this time. He always had great advice to tell me. He said, son, he said, if you love your wife and you love God like you say you do, you need to come home and you need to go to rehab. That was the man that came in there to kind of hear your kind of talk and hear you pour your heart out. And he asked me, he said, Brad, he said, do you love God? I said, yes, sir, I love God. He said, why are you serving yourself? He said, you're not serving God with this. He said, you're serving yourself. It hit me hard. And he said, do you love your wife? I said, yes, sir, of course I love my wife. He said, well, then why are you trying to kill her husband? And it hit me between the eyes. And that's been the 19th of this month. That would have been 9 years ago. And those 9 years have been the best years of my life. And we started coming to church here, and I think about 5 years ago. And your sermons have helped me tremendously. And
that's how I remember. Praise the Lord. There's glory in the story. God bless you.